Hey guys, what's up? It's Ray. Welcome back to RayARCH, the channel that is all things architecture and stuff. So a lot of you guys have asked me in the past what books you guys should read for architecture. Now I can't exactly tell you what to read because your professor is the one who's supposed to give you a reading list of what books you should be reading, but I do understand that a lot of times in architecture school we're just really designing and we don't really read at all. So in this video, I'm going to recommend a few books that I enjoyed reading and also I think would be beneficial to you in terms of your studio work and also just studying architecture in general. And without further ado, let's begin. Hey Totoro, what's up? Give me 5. When I was a student, I didn't have money to buy books. But luckily my school had its own architecture library and I was able to borrow these books from them and saved myself a lot of money. I have my list of books right here, so I'll be reading off of it just to get the title correct. The first book I want to recommend is Architecture Reference Specification book by Julia McMorrough. And on Amazon, they sell it for $16 as a paperback edition. What I liked about this book is that she included a lot of materials, specs, design standards, even graphic standards, and it was like a good book that you want to keep by your side in the studio. The second book I want to recommend is The Future for Architecture in 100 Buildings by Marc Kushner for TED Books. And it's actually on Amazon as a Kindle book for $5 or as a hardcover for $9. This is one of those coffee table books that I like to have lying around. I like to flip through this book when I have free time because when you're in architecture school, you actually focus a lot of your time and energy on history and how buildings in the past influence the buildings of today. And that's a great thing, but then a lot of times you don't really get to explore futuristic options or futuristic inspirations. And this book is just kind of there to remind you that, hey, look what this architect did and look what this building looks like in this context, or how this building would actually be of usefulness to this community. This book is just a very good read just to kind of stimulate your mind when you are kind of stuck in like a very academic situation. The third book I want to share with you guys is The Case Study Houses by Elizabeth A.T. Smith, and it's on Amazon as a hardcover for $13. This is another great coffee table book. There's not much reading to it because it's really just a big picture book. The most important part of these photos in this book is that the photographer actually captured a lot of people in his shots. And that is very important to me, especially because a lot of times I'm reading articles, I'm reading books, and photos of architecture and spaces lack human. Like, we're the people that's actually using these spaces. Why don't photographers like to include people in these shots? And by doing that, you're able to get a sense of the scale. You're able to understand the space a lot better and how it's used. So when I read this book, I was very appreciative to see that this author and the photographer, I don't know if they're the same people, but they chose to use this method and this style in terms of photography. The last book I want to share with you guys is actually a series of books by a man named Zean MacFarlane. He's written so many books called 100 Tips for Blank, and I think it's a great series of books to have under your belt and also with you when you travel to school or when you travel home from school. The author Zean actually wrote all these books as ebooks and are on his website for sale, and they're not expensive. They're like $3, I think. It's in euros, so I'm kind of like, I don't know how to calculate that. All of his books are on his website for sale, and I will have his link in the down bar below. Although this isn't a sponsored video, Zean actually did reach out to me and he sent me 2 of his books and I read through them and I actually really enjoyed it. He sent me 100 Tips for Architecture Students, and I think it's actually a great book for beginners, and I know a lot of my subscribers, you guys, are actually about to start architecture school or have started just recently. I enjoyed both books very much because He's written it in a way where someone who's never been exposed to architecture could easily understand it. Alright, that is it for this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you guys loved it, please subscribe to this channel for more. And again, thank you Zean for sending me your books. I enjoyed it very much, and I hope that everyone watching this video would also enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.